What has been this season been like for you in terms of the development arc and how much more you've progressed as the season has gone along?
Honestly, it's just been knowing my role, doing what the coach has been telling me, and just sticking with it, staying in the gym, working with the guys, and just developing a role on this team.
Tre, you guys closed on a 13-1 run. What was key? What do you feel like led to that success in crunch time?
I feel like definitely our defense and connectivity. I feel like at the beginning of the season we were, kind of shaken up and rattled during those last moments, but I feel like this game we stood together and, just carried over what we've been doing in practice for sure.
Yes, for both of you, February obviously was tough, but this team was kind of built with the idea of March. Like, what did you guys learn in that month when things were tough that you feel like you're able to carry over to close out a game like this and as you head in the postseason?
I feel like for us it was definitely just reps, canceling out all the outside noise. We know what type of caliber team we are and where we want to go, so just, keeping that energy from practice and taking it into the game and then executing like we did tonight for sure.
Yeah, like just staying in with each other, not listening to the outside noise, of course, just, practicing hard together and just knowing who we are.
Tre, over here. I know it wasn't all your matchup, but what do you feel like switched from the first half to second half on that Smith and Kaufman-Wren ball screen action, especially defensively, what you guys were able to lock in on?
Yeah, he's a good player, but I feel like, when you're going against 5 defensive players who just locked in on that and making it tough for 40 minutes, that's going to be a hard night to, have a good night. So just doing that for 40 minutes, and he's a good player, but the whole team was locked in. It wasn't just one player.
This is for both you guys. How do you block out noise? How do you go about doing that? Is the losses starting to stack in there?
We just know like how we are together. We practice together every day. We see each other every day. So, we're focused and we're locked in together. So,
Tre, what was maybe the sign to you that this team had maybe figured out how to handle late game situations and make a run like this?
Just to feel like we didn't get rattled. Everybody, we kept having our little huddles and everybody was locked in. We still had that belief and that fire. And I feel like that started in practice a few weeks ago. But just to see that carry over finally to the game, that's a good step. And, we're elevating at the right time.
For both you guys, what do you think of the shot that KJ hit, and what do you think it says about him that he was confident enough and obviously then to make the shot there to game-changing type of thing?
He's a great player, In practice, we see it every day. In clutch situations, he never misses in that situation. So we knew to give him the ball, and we knew what he was going to do.
Crazy. Will, the season has seen like a lot of hot streaks and cold streaks, ups and downs. But, like, what is the key to get in that shooter's mentality, to always think that, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take and always feeling the next one's going in when the last few haven't?
Just like I said before, just putting in the work in the gym when people aren't watching. I know in myself what shots I can make and what I can't make, so, I'm just focused on that.
Tre, could I get your thoughts on KJ's shot? Looked like you were kind of processing what to say.
It's all good, man. It's just crazy. Even after you seen he hit that big shot, he had no emotion. Like, he does this every day. Like Will said, we see it every day in practice. So just to see it carry over after not having the most easy first half, just to see him still have that confidence to take that shot shows you what type of player he is.
Will, you had that big shot right at the end of the first half, and then that got the crowd on their feet. I saw you hyping up the Orange Crush after the game. What has the support from the student section and the fans been like all season? Just how big of a change has it been from, high school?
I feel like the fans are the reason we came here, They get us going. Tre at the start of the game, he got us going. The fans started to uplift us, and, that shot just gave us a lot of energy and coming into the second half for sure.
Tre, I don't want to keep going back to the same point, but just this team's ability to close, like, what did it take to get there? I mean, was it just a matter of playing out a season and getting through like a tough January and February, or kind of what do you think got you there?
Yeah, I feel like it's just reps, honestly. I know we're a new group of guys and it takes time, but like I said, just getting reps and getting more confident with each other, we're communicating more. I feel like just everything is just elevating at the right time for us, and tonight we stayed together and it showed.
Tre, you've been in the postseason before. How important was it for you guys to finish the season with some momentum heading into the postseason, and just what what do you think you guys have found? Like, what kind of team are you heading into March?
For sure. We can't get content right now. This was a great win, but there's still so much more basketball, and that's where we want to be, playing one of the last teams at the end of this. So we can't get content. Just doing what we do. Like I've been saying all year, I feel like it's never us versus another team. It's always us versus us, trying to stay on our principles, and we did that tonight.
Well, obviously, Tre's had a really big impact since he's been probably not sick. What has he brought to you guys now that he's fully back in this rotation?
I mean, Tre's just the glue guy for sure. I mean, you could look at it. He missed 2 shots today. Like, damn. But he's our guy. We trust him in everything. He does everything. He rebounds. He gets to the bucket. He's just a great player all around.
It's for both of you. Yesterday, Ben kind of talked just about the possibilities of March, where anything can happen. I mean, I guess now that the postseason is the next step, just what do you kind of think about where this team is, where it can go?
We're obviously a young group, so we started off very slow, but I'd say within the last part of the season we're growing a lot, so we have we're peaking right at the right time, I'd say, so it's been good.
Definitely, and I feel like just the versatility that we have, I feel like it can be anybody's night, any given night. So I feel like that's definitely a threat to other teams and one of our attributes for sure. So just staying ready as a team and play hard.
Tre, I think you played like 15 seconds in a 4-game span there. How did you get through that? How did you get, click back in, and what led to you kind of this late resurgence for you?
Yeah, just trying to stay ready for me, staying in the gym and just staying ready till my number is called. My teammates kept me in it. I was trying to stay in it with my teammates too, and just getting those wins kept me in it. So whenever coach called my name, I feel like I was already playing, so it wasn't an adjustment.
I guess along those lines, what did it mean for you for your teammates that kind of, like when players out, they've got to kind of adjust and figure it out, but to kind of find space to let you still operate, like what did that allow you to do from a comfort standpoint?
I feel like there wasn't any adjustment like that. We can always we've been playing with each other. We let everybody be each other. We know how to play off of each other. So I feel like me leaving the lineup or inserting back into the lineup didn't make a difference. It was just our little things, like I said, rebounding, communicating, playing tougher than other teams, and we did that.
2 big wins, obviously over the 2 of the top 5 teams in the Big Ten after such a long stretch of adversity. Would you say that the team is the most confident it's been all season right now?
Yeah, most definitely. I feel like we've always been confident. We're just stringing along some wins together. We always believed where we could be at. We just finally, getting it going.
For both of you guys, is there something specific as a player that you have to go through to remind yourself that you are a good shooter, even if it's not falling, and to allow you guys to have the second half that you guys had?
This is like the hardest working group I've ever played with. I don't know about you, Tre, but everybody's in the gym always. Everyone's getting up shots. So, we all know what we're capable of when it comes to stepping up and making shots. So, yeah.
Both of you guys, you're both slashers, right? It seems like since the Iowa game, a lot more hard cuts to the bucket. Has that been a point of emphasis? And with Tommy back, is that a big part of the game? It seems like with him at the high post, you guys are slashing to the rim.
Yeah, Tommy's a great player. Being 7 foot, he gets to see the court differently. So I don't know how many assists he had off backdoor cuts today, but just having him back into the lineup definitely adds some versatility to our shooting and cutting and stuff like that. So we just had to make the adjustment on how the defense was playing and picked it apart.
Yeah, obviously Tommy is one of the best passing bigs, I feel. So he's always going to find us, so we know we can play off him, and, yeah.
Yeah, Will, I wanted to follow up on that. How did you and Tommy develop that kind of chemistry where he sees you almost at any point when you're cutting? And is it like a nonverbal signal you guys kind of have to each other, or how's that developed over this season?
Honestly, it's just playing within the offense, I feel. If he sees me cutting, he's going to pass it or he's going to skip it across, so he just knows.
You guys have now been all the practice that you've had over the last 2 weeks. How many changes have you made in that time, and how important has that practice time been?
Yeah, we definitely made some adjustments defensively, stuff like that. Like tonight, we had to make a few adjustments. Kaufman had it going. He's a good player. But like I said, our versatility is one of our strengths, so we can adjust to any game at any moment. So we just got to keep building on that, keep playing hard, bringing the intensity in. That should be good for us.
Will, the Crush was asking for one more year there at the end. What do you think of that? And if this is the last time you play here, what do you think tonight means for you?
Obviously, it means a lot. The Orange Crush is great. Our whole fan base is great for sure. They keep us in games. There's an amazing fan base, and it's a great experience to be a part of.
Yeah, you guys got to see a really good college basketball game tonight, and two really good basketball teams. Tremendous amount of appreciation for our guys' fight and commitment, and how good a team we just knocked off. I think they've got two of the best players in the country. Braden's in a rebound away from a triple double. Trey's a load. So, ended the game the right way, went on a nice run, but it was so many different guys tonight. Thought Will Riley made the defensive play of the night with a little stab poke away that we've been working on, and it was a second half that got us downhill. We got in the bonus. I think at the under 12 we were in the bonus, and then that opens up our threes, and we were much better second half shooting the basketball. Kylan Boswell is a big reason for that, and then guys stepping up. Tre White was tremendous again, just a rebound short of a double-double, and KJ, clever, throws it off the back and smokes the layup, doesn't let it bother him, and then turns around and kind of what we've seen all year from him, hits a dagger three. So, good basketball game. Got a tremendous amount of respect for Matt, and great way to end the season.
Brad, what's different the last three games, and how's it feel to have some momentum heading into the postseason?
I mean, it's like, and I'm going to sound redundant and repetitive, but, those guys in that locker room need all the credit. One, we're healthy, or healthier. Kerry Booth missed 2 days with the flu. KJ's been, Kerry hadn't even been in practice, showed up today, shoot around, and then Kasparis, got sick before the Michigan game and wasn't feeling very well, and has a terrible cough. But we're healthy. We're able to practice. We were able to make some changes. You saw that tonight with some stab ball screen stuff. With some double opportunities in the post. So those were changes that needed to be. But I think we've got to make sure that Kylan Boswell, Tre White get a ton of credit as veterans have stepped their game up, which has then pulled a bunch of freshmen. We've talked all year about Kasparis and what his game is, and it's now become evident that Will Riley's a really good player. Tommy's back and healthy, but Kylan and Tre have been huge. Ben was huge tonight. So it's just a matter of some guys stepping up, and after the New York game, they didn't want to pitch a tent and say we're done. They decided to fight, and that's who we are, and it's what we're about, being an everyday guy.
Brad, tense moments, crunch time, close games seem to be synonymous with March basketball. What do you think coming through in this one can mean for you guys going forward with that, with KJ's shot, all of that?
Yeah, we haven't had one probably since Missouri. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, we lost an overtime game at Northwestern. We lost an overtime game in Nebraska. And then we've had a lot of blowouts in the league. I think six or so 20-point wins, and that's really unusual. But it's great. And especially falling down 4 or 5, in the last few minutes and not and living in the moment. We talk about that a lot in this program, is living in the moment, not letting a bad play or a bad shot or a turnover. Guys stepped up tonight, and we got stops when we needed to.
Obviously, freshmen grow at different rates. What are a couple specific areas where Will has grown, say, from early January, mid-January to where he is today?
Well, defensively, a lot. I think if early in the year, that was an area where Will was being challenged. his confidence is through the roof. I think there was a game that was very singular at Michigan State. He had a half that was pretty special, and that's where we actually saw him just kind of blossom and blow up. I take some of the non-league games out that, were lesser opponents, but and then he got sick and missed a game and missed practices. So it's just been a process with him, but his confidence is high. We're putting him in a lot of actions. Back in the starting lineup, he gives us 3 primary handlers and all year long he's run the point guard on our second unit until we put him in the starting lineup. So he's very comfortable knowing all the actions, and I think he's just really confident. And we all know he's a gifted scorer.
But I'm curious, when you have a February like that, what does this team in particular, what did you see them kind of take and grow from, and what can carry over from that into this part of the season?
I don't know if there's a specific thing. I think it's a tribute to their character. It's their fight. We played this schedule. I'm always going to go back to the non-league schedule we've played. I think we're going to, maybe us and Auburn lead the country in quad 1 and 2 games. There's a reason we do that, so we don't trick ourselves into thinking we're something that we're not. So I just again, high character guys love basketball, love to work, and now it's, they've seen a lot of scenarios through the course of 31 games, and so they're just finding a little confidence.
You talked about KJ hitting the dagger 3, and all season long we've seen his leadership, floor general, all of that. But how much of being a closer, like being cold-blooded to do that, how much of that can be coached and taught, and how much of that is just kind of like innate?
It's innate. I mean, you've got to know, you've got to want those moments. We've had some really good ones in this program in Io, Trent Frazier, Andres Feliz. We've had some guys who could close out some games and not fear, not fear those moments, not fear getting fouled. Even there was a play that, like, it was a turnover and he was just being aggressive, and I can't wait to see that one on film. But he's not afraid of that moment. He is not afraid to fail. And he's got enough confidence that he knows he's going to make those, and I would love to take credit as a coach, but he came here with that.
I guess maybe not having a lot of close games in the last couple months, what put this team in position to be able to close one out when they had to tonight?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to Kyle and Trey. It was them in timeouts talking. It was handling situations. It was not putting your head down. It was encouragement. It was togetherness, and all those things sound really cliche, but it's the truth. We talked at the under 4-minute media timeout. We played a 4-minute scrimmage yesterday, so it's just like yesterday. We have to close out. In this 4-minute scrimmage, we have to, stop, score, stop, and do what we do. And so it was. Maybe some of that's sinking in.
Coach Matt Painter was just in here, and he said that you're the kind of team that can blitz teams when you're making threes. When you're not making threes, you got to find another way. Has that been kind of a journey for you, learning how to win different ways? And do you feel like you're in a good place heading into the postseason?
Sure, because we're starting to make shots, and I think that, we've always been an elite 2-point team. I think the one thing that we also have to understand is when we're really good, per our last game, we offensive rebound those misses. And I thought Purdue did a great job tonight of really trying to keep us off the glass. But again, in the second half, we found that rhythm, and you keep shooting them and know that percentages are going to work their way your way, and we've got to do that. But we're still going to keep hounding them about the glass. We got to have more help than Trey, and if Merez is able to come back, he'll obviously help in that scenario some.
Brad, hi. You had that foul call on KJ. It led to Randy Richardson and you having a tense moment that looked like it kind of went right up to the line. Looked like he told you to control your players.
Don't assume that. That is absolutely not the truth.
Okay.
That is absolutely don't start doing that, Steve. That's a bunch of crap.
So I didn't see that right?
No, you absolutely did not. He was mad at me.
Okay.
That was at me for barking at him because he said he missed it. So make no more of that.
You could have.
That's enough. I'm done with that. There's nothing more to that.
Well, I want to know how close,
how close
things
what?
were at that moment. It could have just broken bad with if you get teed up or if guys are frustrated to come back from that.
I had a mic on, and you can go pull the mic, and don't try to make something that wasn't there. There was not one thing there. I didn't say one thing. I didn't swear at him. There was nothing. He was having a conversation with me. I listened, and I walked away.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm just asking how close it was at that time.
Wasn't it close? Because
too much to come back.
The one thing I'm always going to do is keep my wit in a game and not lose, not get a technical.
Brad, you mentioned Kylan, but being a leadership role. But the last 3 games, he's been really clicking offensively as a scoring and distributing and still obviously defending. What's been the change for him?
Tommy's a big reason for that. Look where he's getting his points. He's downhill. He's getting to the foul line. He's an elite cutter. Kylan is an incredible screener. And we have what we call screen below, stay below. He finds those. Guys know to get him there, and then he's so strong and powerful. He has an ability to be effective at the rim.
Brad over here. Tre White on the ball, was that something that you feel like flipped the switch for you guys defensively, especially in that Smith, Kaufman, Wren ball screen action, or do you feel like it was something else that flipped it for you guys defensively?
No, I think there's the thing you have to do with I consider Braden and I consider them very much like the old Utah Jazz team. John Stockton, Karl Malone, Jeff Hornacek. And you pick your poison. But you can't let him get comfortable. And so size on him. Tre made a great defensive play at the end of the half. You can't just have Kylan in that. We mixed up our coverages from drop to, a quick hedge. So, we had a blitz and package in that we didn't go to. But, it was part of it. It was part of the plan coming in.
Tre spoke on the versatility of your offense. I guess, what does that do for you? How much easier does it make your job? And when's the last time in your coaching career you had a team that could maybe have 4 or 5 guys score 20?
I had 6 guys in double figures, I think, at SFA when I was there. But different teams do different things, and tonight Will got going, and they do a great job because, to be quite honest, I don't run a ton to Tre, and he just finds it. And we find him. I thought Tommy had a couple easy opportunities in the first half that he missed, but that's our team is the balance. We're a very good passing team. We're unselfish. That was one of the big keys to our win tonight was the turnovers. I think Braden leads the league in turnovers or in steals. So we're getting more comfortable there, and that's again just nice to be able to practice.
Brad, I know Tre was sick, but 2 games he didn't play and was out of the rotation. Take me through what you witnessed from him, how he's been able to make himself such a big part of the team, and what that means for you guys right now.
Yeah, just being able to practice, just being able to have that. You miss a few days in practice, and you're fighting for just a little bit of energy, and that's hard to do. And we went to Rutgers, and he's planning on playing, and then he gets sick before the game, and so it's just a combination of he feels yucky, he's a vital part, and then we got back. His energy was impressive. He knew how important. We had conversations about how important he is to our team, and he's just taken that and run.
Coach, Tommy had 3 fouls and he had 4 fouls. Both times Ben logged some important minutes at the 5. What did you see from him, and how big was that for you guys?
He was spectacular tonight, just as he was at that spot in the Michigan game. And Ben's fighting, man. Ben's lost himself on the defensive side and rebounding the basketball. And then the other thing he's done is by losing himself, he's jumped up and made shots. And we weren't overly excited going in, I'll be honest, about him having to guard Kaufman Wren for long periods of time. But man, he was terrific, and we knew, again, we thought we might have to give him some help with some doubles, but he did a nice job.
But I'm curious, what was your approach when you guys were kind of fighting it a little bit with a younger team and a newer team, and how did you guide them through that versus maybe if, like last year's team was so experienced? Like, what was the difference, or maybe that you think it would have been this year?
It's night and day. I don't even know how to explain it. I mean, last year it was this team. This is more helping and guiding and explaining. They need. Last year was a lot of asking. What do you like? What do you feel? Going to Marcus Domask. What do you think? What do you? Boom, boom. I mean, they know. Coleman's coming over, and they've got input, and so it's very different with a veteran team. I never worried. We had 110 practices last year. We had 2 bad ones, both of them before Penn State, and that we were mature. That team handled things, and this team, it's just helping them grow in our culture and helping them be everyday guys and do their job, and so it's very different.
I asked Trey the same question, but the way you guys have responded these last 3 games after kind of a stretch of adversity, do you think that this is the most confident the team has been all year, all season?
Yes. Yes. I think we had to get punched, and be honest with you, we got smacked pretty good in New York. So they bounced back, and I think when you can get up off the mat, and that's who we want everybody in our program to be, is a guy that gets up off the mat when you get knocked out.
I guess with Trey, especially maybe the last 3 or 4 games, how has he maximized this sort of low usage, super high production role that he's filled?
Really good teammates, offensive glass, transition. He has gotten to the foul line. I've said this since early in the year. He's one of the best cutters that we've had, that I've coached. He's very instinctive that way, and I think everybody's wanted to sleep because he was off to a horrible start in shooting the basketball, but he's a really good shooter. So everybody finds him. He's puts himself in that position.
Kind of an offshoot of his question. Self-scout for a second. What is your confidence level in this team, and where does it rank compared where it's been? If you could give us a little stock market of where it's been this year.
It grew a lot after tonight. Really, to be very honest, it grew a lot tonight. Just simply the confidence to win a close game when things are really, really hard against an unbelievably good opponent, and a team that has the best offense in the league, to get stops when you need them. So and to find enough moxie when you're down 4 or 5 and to make plays, man, my confidence is really high. And I wouldn't have maybe said that Monday.
Has it been an equal moxie game this whole year?
I mean, we felt pretty good I felt great against Missouri. I felt really good we were on the right path. We were doing a lot of the right things. And then you have Tommy 3 practices in 5 weeks. And then you just can't get better. And with a young team, when you can't get better, that's stunning your growth, and to an extent you don't know if you can really bounce back. But this team deserves all the credit for that.